This is a tour of my no dig garden beds. It is the 10th of June 2024 and this is the second year that these beds have been established, with the first year being last year. So here in our first bed we have peas growing up our trellis with some pak choi that kind of failed and went to seed. I then just broad sowed that and it seems to be coming up quite well. First time around it got really hit hard by the slugs. Behind that we've got kale, and then we have a nice row of leeks. Tulip dead there and there, but they were lovely at the start. This bed was supposed to be a mirror of the other one, but it hasn't had as much success, so I might stick some tomatoes in here or something and stake them up. But we've still got our peas and our leeks, and then again a couple of pak choi that have kind of bolted and gone to flower nice and early. Hey butters. Here we have our beetroot. So I noticed this funny little one here, but bar that, if you can see there, they do seem to be coming up quite well, as long as Butters doesn't pull them all out. Here we have kind of the most dry and inhospitable bed that we have, and we're growing asparagus in this, and we're just allowing some wildflowers to come up and not weeding it that much. And also planted some marigolds and stuff in there as well from seed, so they should come up soon enough. Moving on here, probably the part of the garden that I'm most proud of at the minute is a bit of a kind of three sisters technique that we've done. So we've got lettuce at the bottom, we have our sunflowers which provide structure, and then we have peas climbing up the sunflowers. And if you look in here, we can see we already have some lovely peas coming up. We have a plum tree here, which I'll need to take a step back, and then under that I've mulched that with straw, and I've planted some lovely strawberries which look like they're very close to turning red. Here we have our corn, and again just some lettuce which we just kind of use regularly. The first sowing of corn again didn't do so well. It was under a cold frame, but we had kind of major issues with slugs, and I figured the cold frame was just providing them somewhere safe and warm to thrive really. But the new corn is a little bit greener, as you can see. The older stuff's a little bit yellower, but it's a little bit taller, so hopefully that recovers. Here we have our allium bed, so we've got garlic, we've got onion, we have two types of onion actually, a red and a white onion, and that seems to be coming on quite well. We'll need to start planning what we want to sow in there next. And then here is a lovely strawberry bed that we've planted recently, with a planter in the middle made out of an old chimney, and that's doing fantastically and should provide us with loads of strawberries throughout the summer. Here's the chickens. Might as well show you while I'm already here. They're not no dig, they do plenty of digging. Here is little Buttercup. She's in there just until she gets introduced correctly. And then the rest of the girls here, we can see her getting on famously. We do have another who should be in here, sat on eggs, and she's not very fond of butters. These beds had mustard sown in them throughout the kind of winter time, just to allow the soil to get some nutrients back into it and to provide some structure with the roots, and as well as that providing a little bit of weed prevention and suppression as well. We also have our polytunnel with chilies and tomatoes mainly, and a kiwi plant, and then we have some more strawberry beds here. These I let to just run, and then I take the runners and I pot them on then into other beds. We have our bay tree here with some volunteer potatoes from last year that were planted in there, so we're just going to let them go and then dig them out in about a month's time. We have more potatoes here. These are Sapo Mira, planted on St Patrick's Day, traditionally in Ireland, and will be harvested on the 12th of July, which again is a bit of a tradition. Berry corner isn't doing so hot, so none of those really thrived. I did try to give them some ericaceous compost, some berry feed, but haven't quite figured that one out yet. We'll see if we can get some new stuff into the ground and no dig, and should have a little bit more success. And that is the majority of what's going on in the garden at the minute and how we're getting on now. I'll need to go because Butters has just gone down the back of the hedge